it's Beauty Junkay. Welcome to my channel. Today I will be doing a first impressions review of the new Cle de Peau foundation. This is the Radiant Fluid Foundation Natural. It's an SPF 25. I have the shade B10 Light Beige, which is for light pink undertones. And I'm totally excited to try this out. I've never purchased anything from this brand before because it is very luxury. I've never spent this much money on a foundation. This is $130. Crazy, I know, but I just want to see what the hype is all about. I heard good things. I want to know, is it good? Is it bad? Is it worth the money? And I also picked up some other complexion products from this brand that I've heard good things about. This is the concealer that they have. It's a stick formulation. It has SPF 25 in it. I got the shade Ivory. I also picked up the Radiant Corrector for eyes, which is like a corrector pen, also in the shade Ivory. We'll see what happens with this. So I'm going to try out all three today for the first time. This packaging, I have to say, even though it's a lot of money, probably some of the most luxurious packaging I have ever had in my collection, especially for a foundation. I mean, I've purchased Chanel before, you know, some higher end brands. I'm not like on the super top tier end of things, but you know, this is very, very fancy. I mean, it's full glass. It has this pump, this cap. It's a little bit large. It's a little bit hefty. Probably don't want to travel with this one, but it is really pretty. It's got the navy blue, the gold, the clear, and even these, like, there's like a navy, but they have like a shimmer in them. Super pretty. It's got like a beveled cap, and same with the concealer, beveled navy, like super pretty. Cle de Peau, if you don't know, is a Japanese brand, I believe like a luxury offshoot of Shiseido. Again, always wanted to dip into it, but the price for everything is pretty astronomical. You know, the cream blushes I think are very popular, the eyeshadows, the highlighter. One highlighter is $95 for a powder. It looks really pretty, but I'm like, ugh, is that worth it? I can't imagine that it is, but we're going to try with these out today because I know at least for these concealers, a lot of people have loved them for years, especially the stick one. And it's one of the few concealers out there with an SPF in it, so that's pretty incredible. Pricing, I mentioned $130 for this, and it is a little over an ounce, 1.1 ounce, 35 milliliters. This concealer looks pretty small. It is 0.17 ounces, 5 grams of product. Alright, so this concealer is $73. That's a lot of money. Also, I think the most money I've spent on a concealer, let's be honest. The concealer pen, the Corrector, is $65. Also a lot of money. So we're going to see if these live up to the hype. I'll do some swatches so you guys can get a sense of the shade if you guys are interested. You have my skin tone. I am cool undertone, fair skin. You might be wondering, why would I spend this much money? I actually shopped around on different sites. So luckily Cle de Peau is available through a few luxury department store retailers. They do have their own website. You can pick it up there. I think right now they're offering $25 off your $250 purchase if you are a first time user, you open a new account. I looked at Saks. If you open a new account with Saks, you can get 10% off your order, including beauty. So that's where I purchased it, at Saks, because not only could I get 10% off, which helps quite a bit in this instance because I'm spending what, like almost $250 on all of these over that, so I wanted to take some money off, but also they had all the shades that I wanted. Whereas Cle de Peau is kind of sold out on a couple of things, but I wanted to try all three. They do have a new color collection out, I believe new lipsticks, eyeshadows, so you might want to check that out as well. I blind bought the foundation, the B10, the light beige, so I don't know if it's going to match or not. I'm going to do a little pump. Ooh, that's a big pump. It's quite runny. You know, pink, if you have a pink undertone, cool undertone like me, things look a little bit dark. They always seem off to me, but somehow they tend to match, so I can't really tell if this is going to match until I put it on my face. But that is B10, light beige. Feels almost serum-like. It is very runny. It feels like it's got a little bit of a slip to it. It doesn't feel very heavy though, but I won't know until like I put it on my face, but just kind of first impressions. And then concealer. So this is a stick concealer. I actually don't have any stick concealer, so this is a different consistency. It's very shiny at the top. So this I got in Ivory, which is the lightest shade. Looks like it's probably going to be a decent match or close enough. A little bit yellow, but I don't think they had a lot of shades in either one of these really, and I don't think they had like a light cool option. So this was the closest I was going to get. That is what that looks like there. It feels, because it's a stick, it's a bit drier, so it feels a little bit like powdery, but it feels light on the skin. Let's go into this Corrector pen. Kind of typical, has a brush, and I might have to do a couple clicks until I see product come out. Oop. Here we go. So this looks a lot lighter. This is also in Ivory, but you can tell this is a different color. It is a corrector, so I don't know. Usually correctors are a little bit of a different color, right? Maybe beige, peach, combat redness. I don't know what to expect from this, but we're going to try that as well. It feels more like a regular concealer, but those are the shades there that we're dealing with. I'm going to apply this Radiant Natural Foundation onto my face without a primer. Now I had my skincare on all day, sunscreen. It doesn't feel very wet anymore at all. It feels pretty dry actually. I could put a primer, but I didn't buy one. I don't want to affect the look. I want to know what this looks like on its own. Maybe in a future video, I'm sure you'll see me put this on with a primer. Maybe it'll be different. This is a first impressions review. Alright, taking my glass palette, gonna do one pump to start with. And I'm gonna use a sponge. I do have my brushes here, but I think I get normally the smoothest result with a sponge, a damp sponge. So I'm just going to go in with that technique first. I am smelling some fragrance, like a light floral scent. It's not overwhelming, at least not yet. Wow. I have to say, the coverage on my chin looks pretty good, but I think I use this, the sponge technique always takes up a lot of product, soaking up a lot of product. So one pump, I may have to use 3 because I already used up 1. I have to say, good impression so far. It looks really natural, so I'm going to do 2 more pumps and just try to get this on. The color looks pretty good. I know it looks very white right now, but I'm pretty pale. Foundations with like any sort of strong scent. But this one smells pretty good. I actually think it's fairly tolerable, but if you don't, I mean, most luxury skincare makeup, they have a scent. I know it's like a very popular thing to not want any scent, but I think people, they ask consumers surveys, and a lot of people actually want a fragrance. It's part of the luxury experience. So they want their foundation to smell good. So I think it's just kind of a mixed bag. Wow. I didn't want to like this. I mean, I already have the bottle, so it doesn't really matter. I already spent the money. But this looks really good. So pretty. And the sponge technique for the win. This shade just comparing to my neck. Just See if I can blend it out a little bit. We'll see if it oxidizes, gets a little bit deeper. See, it's a pretty good match. It looks a little bit yellow in the camera compared to my neck. But it's not like it's not too far off. It looks pretty good. I would say this is a good medium coverage, but I did use a lot of pumps, so I probably got more of a full coverage effect. I used a total of 3, and this is how much is left over. Not completely used. I probably could have got away with just 2 pumps with the sponge. I think if I used a brush, used my fingers to apply it and then rubbed it in, maybe 1.5, but wow. I'll have to take some photos, but this is a really nice foundation. It reminds me of the finish that I get with the Dior Air Flash foundation, the spray foundation. Similar finish and just so easy. Let's get into this corrector, this click pen. So I already, I think I need to do another click or 2. Yeah. A little bit there. So I have like kind of purple up in here, like just coloring, a little bit of redness, fine lines. I don't know that you're supposed to blend this in with this brush, so I'm just going to use my little mini sponge and tap that in. I don't know that that made a huge difference in terms of color correcting. I think this, because of the color, it's not like a color correcting color, it's more of like a light concealer color. It's, as you saw, this ivory is lighter than the ivory in the stick. Very interesting. It's a little bit creamy. I wouldn't say it's doing a full concealer job, so I'm going to go into my SPF 25 stick concealer. I have no idea how to apply this, but I'm just going in. What do you guys think? That's hopefully not too much. It looks like you don't need a lot. And going in with the sponge, I don't know how people, if they use a finger to press it out or a brush. I'm just gonna do that. That looks better. So this is really light, kind of a drier powdery finish with the stick. That's really good. I look a little bit more yellow and lighter under the eyes, which goal accomplished. But I don't know that it matches my foundation. I think with powder and everything else on, it won't be as noticeable, the color difference between here and here. Yeah, I think the issue is these ivory products are more neutral. The foundation is a true cool tone, so there's just a difference in tone that I'm seeing. But wow, overall, I just turned on the ring light because I forgot. Overall, this is a really good trio of complexion products. I didn't pick out a powder because I was like already spending too much. This is the new thing I wanted to try. And honestly, first impressions, not that I needed a new foundation, I was just very intrigued that this just came out. I figured some of you guys may be interested. A+. Like, first impressions, I'm not having any sort of the issues that I have around this area, my nose. Yeah, I mean, I'll have to let you know about wear time, but this looks lovely. So I don't have a powder, as I mentioned, but I do want to powder my face just to set it and move on. I could do a wear test without setting foundation, but that's just not normally what I would do. I do have a new to me powder. This is from Givenchy. This is the Prism Libre Matte Finish and Enhanced Radiance Loose Powder. This is kind of that color correcting quad. Has like the 4 different colors. It's been around. I've never tried it, and I was curious. I'm going to use it as a finishing powder. So I picked this up I will be featuring this in an upcoming video. I got it from Sephora. I did a little Sephora haul, and we're just gonna try it out right now. Taking off the sticker. Hoping this is nice and finely milled. Just gonna use a brush. See if it's scented. Smells some. Alright, I have a light dusting of powder. I didn't use a whole lot. That seems like a nice powder, but I think I'll have to use a little bit more to tell you if it's good or not. Interesting component. Come on, there we go. Square. I'm gonna take some shots up close so you guys can see what this looks like. But I honestly, I mean, it's a nice and refreshing to buy this expensive a foundation and it to be wonderful. I mean, we'll see what the wear time is like. If it disappears in an hour, that's not going to be great, but I have a feeling that it's not going to. Like, it looks like if my face wasn't so perfected. Like, I don't think anyone's face looks like this. I mean, not that it's that perfected, but you know what I mean. Like, if it wasn't so, like, one color, I would think, oh, she's not wearing makeup. Like, it's that natural. All right, y'all, I am doing a voice memo because I have showered and I just wanted to check in with you about the wear time on this Cle de Peau foundation. So I wore it about 6 hours. I put this on in the evening, and because it was so late by the time I showered, and I was like, I just need to take it off. I don't have time to film or do a check-in. I'm exhausted. So it's after midnight right now, and I washed my face, so there's nothing really to show at this point. So I'm just going to talk about what I thought about it after 6 hours, and I'm sure you will see me use this in another video, and I'll have the opportunity to give you updated thoughts. My first impressions of this, as I just put it on, were really great. And when I looked in the mirror just to check out, okay, how does this look? I was kind of surprised that I wasn't more dewy. I was outside and it wasn't that cool, so I thought it'd be a little bit more sweaty. So in terms of it lasting as a like radiant kind of dewy foundation, I felt like I didn't get a whole lot of dewiness just wearing it the first time after 6 hours. Now, maybe if I wore it longer, maybe if it was in the middle of the day, I would see a little bit more of my shine coming through. But I didn't see a whole lot. But I will admit I did use that Givenchy powder. Maybe it sucks up all the moisture. I don't really know. Also, I didn't put on any makeup on top of it, really. I didn't put on any blush, bronzer, anything. So it just, I don't know, maybe that has something to do with it, not having anything layered on top. I'm not really sure. Sometimes I do use cream products, so maybe just doing the powder and that's it. Just kept everything pretty dry. I did notice some foundation lift off on the side of my nose. I'm sure I touched my face. I am a face toucher. And, you know, the chin looked pretty good. You know, I could see my pores a little bit more defined than when I first put on the foundation. I wasn't like super excited about that, but it doesn't like look worse than any other foundation after 6 hours. I thought it would be a little bit better, but it still looked pretty good. I think, you know, the wear on this is going to differ depending on what other makeup I have on. Today I happen to have nothing on. Some of you may be surprised that just based on this first time, some of you may be surprised that it left a drier finish. I can't imagine what the matte is like. Maybe I just don't need to apply any powder and see if it keeps things a little bit more dewy longer. That would probably do the trick. But just wanted to give you a quick check-in, even though this is like 3 minutes long, just to let you know how it went the first time. I will say, looking at these photos that I took right after our application, the concealer in the stick, that color does not match the foundation. I'm kind of disappointed I'm very disappointed they don't have more colors in this line, especially the concealer. I need a light, cool tone concealer to match the foundation. It just doesn't quite work. And I think the foundation is a good color, but that concealer being lighter, I know people like that look. I'm not like a huge fan of that just because it's, especially with no other makeup, it's like a stark,
yellow tone neutral against the tone that actually matches my skin, and it's a little bit jarring to me, and I almost wanted to not not go out with no makeup with it to kind of tone down that concealer difference. So those are just my check-in thoughts. Sorry I couldn't take a photo or anything like that, but I know you will see these complexion products in another video. What do I think of the concealer pen? That might be another contributor adding to like the chalky white look underneath my eyes that I didn't like. It might make sense for me to do one or the other, the stick or the corrector pen, but not both. Maybe that was contributing to the major concealer look under my eyes. So that could also be another option. But yeah, that's it for the check-in.
Anyways, that is my first impressions of these Cle de Peau products. Let me know your thoughts. Would you ever buy anything from this brand? Would you ever buy a foundation over $100? Have you? Was it worth it? Would you do it again? I mean, if you're thinking about it, you want a gift for Christmas, you want a really good foundation, I would consider this. Absolutely. Alright guys, thanks so much for watching. If you like this video, click the thumbs up, comment below, subscribe, and I will see you all in the next one. Bye guys.